I'm Joyce's love coach. Thanks to my guidance, Mandy's been hitting it off with Jason, the school heartthrob, currently in that perfect push-pull phase of mutual flirtation. One day, I got a friend request with the message, "I'm the wingman for your bestie's crush. Truce? Stop the mind games, that guy's getting whipped harder than a fishing rod. Can we call a ceasefire?" Later, when Mandy returned from her date with Jason, blushing but still too shy to hold hands, they stumbled upon Luke and me making out like wildfire on the campus trail. Thank you for watching. Your support keeps these stories coming. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more captivating tales. What story should we tell next? Let us know below. Chapter 1. When the friend request popped up showing Luke Anderson Computer Science 101, I assumed it was another freshman from club recruitment. But the instant I accepted, 2 messages exploded onto my screen. I'm Jason's strategist. Cut the sabotage, he's getting played like a damn marlin. Truce? Oh, my gorgeous. Curves for Days bestie Mandy, the unofficial English department belle, had been my ride or die since our families became close during grade school. We'd chosen the same college for convenience. Despite her femme fatale looks, she'd never dated anyone until catching feelings for Jason, the campus golden boy everyone fawned over. Here's the kicker, Mandy might have had beauty and wit, but zero game. Their entire flirting progress? All my behind-the-scenes maneuvering. I'd seen Jason around, objectively hot, with his little fan club, but reading their texts? Total player vibes. The way he sweet-talked Mandy was turning my sharp-witted friend into a lovesick puddle. My intervention finally leveled the playing field. So the pretty boy had a wingman too? Scanning the third-floor cafeteria unsuccessfully for anyone matching Luke's profile. I was about to message him when a low, sleep-roughened voice breathed near my ear, "Over here." I turned right, empty air. He materialized from my left, looking like he'd stepped out of a manga. Luke? 6 foot something with artfully messy black hair and a silver chain glinting against his collarbones. He nodded. Joyce. He knew my name. We slid into window seats. I couldn't stop staring. How was Jason the heartthrob when this guy existed? Was the late-night lullaby recording your idea? I crossed my arms. That move had kept Mandy awake for hours. Luke mirrored my posture. And was the friendship roses on Valentine's your masterstroke? Jason nearly booked a flight to confess before your girlfriend zoned him with that bullshit. First time getting flowers? Please. He doesn't give out his address. No address. No admirers. Touché. Luke massaged his temples. Mercy. Joyce. He dragged me out of bed at 2 a.m. to dissect Mandy's midnight selfies. And your roommate allowed this? He saved me from drowning as kids. Roommate's GPA depends on his tutoring. Close enough. Damn. Actual life debts. Truce? Luke clasped his hands purse-style. Those damnably pretty eyes crinkling. I can't survive his late-night epiphanies about her nail polish color symbolism anymore. My traitorous heartbeat stuttered. Exactly my type. Leaning back, I kept my gaze locked on his unfairly attractive face. Mandy's my sister from another mister. You really think I'll back off? His grin turned wolfish. What if I make it worth your while? The tension crackled louder than the fries sizzling in the kitchen. Luke's eyes crinkled as he shot me another flirtatious glance. Aren't we supposed to play matchmaker for them? Once they're together, our job's done. No more headaches. Right? Fair point. I pulled out my tablet in front of him and opened my notes app. Let's do a background check then. A what? He blinked. Locking eyes with him, I mirrored his earlier smirk. First. Swear you won't lie for the next 30 minutes. Confused but amused, Luke leaned in with those damnably charming eyes. Luke. Solemnly swear that if I tell a single lie in the next half hour, he paused dramatically. Lips quirking. I'll get erectile dysfunction. I choked on air. Poisonous enough for you? More than sufficient. I coughed, mentally adding just like your entire personality. Cutting to the chase. I demanded. You've known Jason since childhood. How many relationships has he had from elementary school onward? Why did they end? Luke stared. You're actually serious? Full honesty. Don't know is acceptable. Convenient amnesia isn't. Fine. He adjusted effortlessly to grilling his best friend. 0 official relationships. None? My brows knitted. Situationships? During senior year. He kept lending notes to some arts track girl. Clearly into her. What happened? Luke snorted. She got into film school post-graduation. Told him they'd just been study buddies. And vowed to stay single for her future celebrity image. She used him for SAT prep? My jaw dropped. Genius move. Karma's a bitch. He gifted her 20-odd curated test prep books for her birthday. Yikes. Major red flag. Future gift-giving holidays would be minefields. Reading my horrified expression, Luke offered. Relax. He's probably evolved since then. Doubtful. But I logged it anyway. Over the next 20 minutes, I grilled him about Jason's current flirtations, hobbies, and vices. For Mandy's future happiness, I glanced around and whispered the really personal questions. Luke chuckled dryly. Joyce. If I knew that level of detail about my bro's private life, wouldn't that be concerning? Humor me. Skip what you don't know. As I wrapped up, Luke countered. Shouldn't I vet Mandy for Jason too? Tit for tat. Ask away. Swear first. Cheeky copycat. Holding his gaze, I vowed. If I lie in the next 30 minutes, my future boyfriend gets ED. Future boyfriend? His eyes glinted. What about current ones? Non-existent. Noted. We mutually agreed Mandy and Jason's mutual pining required intervention. Luke proposed a weekend horror escape room, prime territory for forced proximity. Yet when Mandy dragged me to the venue, I hissed at Luke. Why are we here for their date? Needed extra players. He shrugged. Bullshit. The 6-person game let 4 of us in immediately. This place must be desperate for customers. Luke Anderson. Do you know Joyce Wilson? Jason Brown noticed us whispering. My bestie glanced over too. Didn't before. Getting acquainted now. He replied casually. Before entering, I pulled Mandy Taylor aside. Babe. Once we're in there, pretend to be scared no matter what. Throw yourself into his arms at every chance, his arms. Not mine. Grab his hand. Got it? That's not cool. Can't take advantage. Mandy's painfully straightforward reply made me groan. You've been flirting for months. He's basically your future boyfriend already. Claiming what's yours is natural. Understand? Mandy tilted her gorgeous face. What about you? You don't know his friend, worry about yourself. I pinched her cheeks. Pro wingmen don't get in the way. This is your make or break moment to lock that man down. After storing our belongings, we formed a conga line into the haunted house, Jason leading. Mandy behind him. Me third. Luke bringing up the rear. The blindfolded walk through darkness felt manageable until the masks came off. A horror movie soundtrack blared overhead as my eyes adjusted to the narrow hallway. Flickering bulbs illuminated yellowed notices about expelled students and unsolved disappearances. My neck prickled like unseen eyes watched from the shadows. Scared? Luke's whisper grazed my ear. I elbowed him. Please. We deciphered combination locks easily enough. Just as we retrieved classroom keys, a window crashed open. A hulking NPC teacher barked. Class started. Why aren't you seated? My backward stumble landed me against Luke's chest. His hand steadied my shoulders while Jason cheerfully apologized. Even Mandy looked annoyingly calm under the strobe lights. God. Am I the only chicken here? All good? Luke checked as Mandy turned. Joyce. Okay? Mandy asked. Peachy. I lied through gritted teeth. Seasoned strategists never show weakness. The classroom held a dozen desks beneath the NPC teacher's corpse-like glare. No talking during self-study, he warned before exiting. Mandy immediately started rifling through desks. Check for clues. My vandalized textbook revealed its owner's grudges through scribbled death threats. Jason and Mandy wandered off investigating while Luke poked my back with a pencil. His eyes glinted in the gloom. If haunted houses terrify you, why volunteer as third wheel on their date? First timer. I deadpanned. No one warned me escape rooms involved jump scares from undead faculty. This was nothing like watching a horror movie. With so few people around, I kept feeling like someone might jump out to scare me any second. Luke chuckled with that signature laid-back tone. Don't worry. I'll protect you. His grin looked anything but reassuring. I got up to search for clues instead of sitting still. Our group eventually pieced together a basic storyline in the classroom, typical school tropes like bullying, teenage romance, and teacher-student conflicts. As someone who writes novels on the side, I considered myself pretty sharp at unraveling plots. What are you doing here? The NPC teacher's voice boomed behind us suddenly. Roaming around during study hall? Is this how you repay your parents and teachers? Everyone out for detention. My whole body jerked in surprise. Before I could react, Luke grabbed my wrist. Right away. Teach. We'll get out of your hair. The classroom door slammed shut as we exited. A corridor light flickered off while another deeper down illuminated, signaling the next stage. The further we went, the creepier it felt. Jason and Mandy were completely absorbed in solving puzzles, muttering theories as we moved toward the girls' dormitory mentioned in the missing person notice. The dorm proved even darker than the classroom. Every shadow seemed poised to unleash some jump scare. Remembering my resolution not to cling to Mandy like some scaredy cat, I stayed near Luke while watching her and Jason rummage through drawers. Eventually I began inspecting bunk beds, squinting at wall scribbles containing both cruel insults and lovelorn diary entries. Something tugged my shirt hem. Hearing Mandy and Jason chatting nearby, I assumed it was Luke playing tricks. Cut it out. Luke. Not funny. Cut what out? His voice came from several feet away. If he's over there, my body turned rigid as I pivoted to face a white-robed figure with stringy black hair. These NPCs always target the most terrified person in the group. Ghost! I shrieked, stumbling backward into someone's arms as the lights cut out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. Joyce? You saw the NPC? Mandy called through the blackness. There's this white-dressed ghost with long hair. I babbled, still trembling. Forget NPC, this felt like actual haunting material. Warm laughter vibrated against my ear as someone patted my head. Easy there. I've got you. I abruptly released my death grip on Luke's shirt. Cheeks burning. The lights flickered back on, then died again. Instinctively I grabbed the nearest hand, squeezing my eyes shut. Is she back? Whoa. Legit ghost girl. Mandy's excited voice carried from across the room. Even Jason sounded intrigued as they started interrogating the NPC. Are you the missing student? Was that your journal about the pregnancy? What happened to the baby? The ghost actress remained silent. Is she gone? I whispered. Still right in front of you. Luke teased. That white gown's practically glowing. Want to reach out and check? Stop messing with me. Scout's honor. His chuckle deepened. Stretch your hand out, she's close enough to high-five. I hesitated, reaching out until my fingers brushed against strands of hanging hair. I jerked my hand back as if shocked, instinctively moving closer to Luke. After what felt like an eternity, I finally sensed the overhead lights and slowly opened my eyes. Good, they were gone. But the next problem arrived immediately. Jason's voice broke the silence. We need to split into teams for the mission. Only 4 of us here and now we had to separate? The corridor branching off from our dorm exit confirmed this with its dual illuminated pathways. The team assignments happened without debate. Mandy and Jason formed one group while Luke and I became the other pair. We found 2 working walkie-talkies in the dorm, watching the others disappear down the opposite hallway. My legs turned to jelly. "Let's go," Luke chuckled, his warm hand closing around mine. "Don't worry, I'll get us through this." His confident grip anchored me as we moved through the dimly lit corridor, though my heartbeat still thundered in my ears. We entered a space at the end of the branching path just as the door slammed shut behind us. My breath hitched. Luke tried the handle, locked, with a combination pad gleaming ominously. "Looks like we're hunting for a code, Joyce," he said, amusement coloring his voice. Our flashlights revealed we'd been trapped in what appeared to be a high school girls' restroom. 3 stall doors stood closed, their surfaces scarred with red and black graffiti. A duty log dangled from one handle. Every hair on my body stood alert. The walkie-talkie crackled. Jason's voice asked, "What's your situation, Luke?" "Trapped in a bathroom." "You?" "Some kind of biology specimen room." These preserved things looked disturbingly real. Mandy's voice cut in since they gave us comms. "Maybe the codes are cross-referenced. Share any numbers you find." After testing several combinations from the scrawled numbers and dates, including one about plumbing repairs, we hit dead ends. Luke's flashlight beam swung toward the stalls. "Time to check those." My feet rooted to the cracked tiles. His smirk glinted in the low light. "Scared?" "Of course not." I lied. "Then you first." Swallowing hard, I reached for the first stall. The door creaked open, something dark plummeted from above. I slammed my eyes shut, crushing Luke's hand in mine. "What is that?" "Look!" He chuckled and stepped forward to look. "It's nothing. Just a doll." I slowly opened my eyes to see a creepy-faced rag doll lying on the floor. The second stall, I pushed it open with my eyes tightly shut. Nothing happened. The walls were covered in graffiti, including plenty of curses. After 2 uneventful stalls, I finally calmed down, not wanting to give Luke the satisfaction. I boldly pushed open the final stall door. Then everything went sideways. A white-robed female ghost NPC lunged out the moment the door opened. Full-on jump scare. My brain short-circuited. I spun around and crashed into Luke's chest, hearing my own scream echo. This was insane. I hadn't meant to throw myself at him, but in this nightmare scenario, he was my only lifeline. Who puts a chained ghost NPC in a bathroom? I was freaking out. Luke remained completely unperturbed, even having the nerve to tease, "Relax. It's just some employee in makeup. See the chains? Back up 2 steps and you're golden." My voice still shook as I mumbled into his shirt, not even realizing I'd started crying. He patted my back, murmuring "You're okay" by my ear, his tone noticeably softer than before, though I was too rattled to notice. After what felt like hours, his usual smirk returned. "Joyce, are you actually scared or just copping a feel?" That's when I realized I'd been clinging to him forever. His waist felt surprisingly trim under my hands, his chest solid with what might have been the hint of abs. "Flushing." I scrambled back. I didn't mean." Luke caught my hand mid-retreat. "Keep holding on. Wouldn't want you bolting like a spooked cat." His palm felt warm and steady against mine. Beyond the adrenaline, something else fluttered in my chest. The ghost NPC gave us the most unimpressed look before dragging her chains back into the stall. The walkie crackled with Mandy's voice. "Joy? What happened?" "Sounded like you saw a murder. For people in this group. And I'm the only one screaming." "All good. Mandy. Any NPCs your side?" Biology lab's got a male ghost in school uniform. Chained up too. Props department did great with the rotting flush makeup. How was she casually complimenting the staff's craftsmanship in this horror show? Clearly she'd forgotten all my pre-game warnings about staying vigilant. The escape room puzzles weren't hard, most solutions could be logic et out. Luke kept hold of my hand as we worked through combination locks in the dimness. Between us and the bathroom ghost, no one else witnessed the tension humming beneath the game's surface. I considered pulling away for propriety's sake. But a sudden wail from the PA system, woman sobbing, baby crying, had me gripping tighter. When we regrouped in the hallway, the original teacher NPC appeared wielding a fake axe, banging walls to hurt us. His voice boomed through speakers, "Since you found out, you'll stay forever." Luke yanked me into a sprint. My heart still pounded post-escape. This game was way too intense. I worried our hand-holding might send mixed signals, until I saw my best friend and her situationship still deep in game analysis. Zero chemistry detectable. Hopeless. I muttered under my breath. The plot? Classic predator teacher gets student pregnant. Murders her during bathroom birth. Dismembers the body, clogging toilets, hence the haunting. Biology lab ghost was her secret admirer seeking justice. Also killed. Teacher's guilt manifested in occult rituals trapping their spirits. Macabre stuff. Luke met my gaze. We sighed in unison. The career Waterloo of a love strategist, in a way. These two were quite compatible. After the double date ended, I dragged Mandy for a soul-searching interrogation. "I told you to act scared and throw yourself into his arms during the escape room. Why didn't you listen?" She suddenly turned bashful. I felt awkward. Wouldn't it be weird to suddenly pounce on someone, forget her awkwardness, now I'm the awkward one? Right before bed, Luke messaged frowny face still awake. I thought he wanted to debrief today's matchmaking efforts. But his next text read frowny face still scared? Truthfully, my fear vanished after leaving the haunted environment. But the lingering memory of accidentally groping his hand and waist in the dark now hit differently. I mentally cursed, this whole escape room scheme was meant for Mandy. Yet I ended up being the one copying feels. Yawning, I replied frowny face can't sleep. After several seconds frowny face are your roommates asleep? Voice call? Peeking through my bed curtain. Two were gaming, one in League of Legends. Another shooting zombies, while the last showered. No. Luke's call connected. Evening. His voice through headphones felt different. Dangerously charming. Any particular reason for calling? I feigned ignorance. During today's escape room, who knows how Mandy and Jason fared, Luke and I had played our unspoken game perfectly. His chuckle vibrated through the receiver. Didn't you say fear kept you awake? Since I suggested the escape room, I'm responsible for comforting you. Very responsible. He'd allowed touches and hugs during the game, and now offered aftercare. Sing me something? I challenged, remembering Mandy's claims about Jason's sleep-inducing lullabies. Really want that? His bedroom voice could seduce saints. Yes. Or are your roommates around? Conveniently absent. Luke surprised me with a soulful a cappella rendition of a popular English ballad. Honeyed notes melted my defenses. More? He cleared his throat post-performance. What else can you sing? Request anything, if I know it. I drifted off to his vocals, barely registering his final goodnight. When Mandy consulted me about Jason's beach date plans, I advised, just enjoy yourself. Normally I'd mention protection, but these two hopelessly straight-laced. Though we studied different majors, my campus life recently developed new ripples. Luke kept coincidentally appearing, initially to discuss matchmaking strategies over frequent meals. On the beach weekend, he proposed, new movies are out. Tomorrow? Thus we found ourselves at cinema concessions. Me in a sapphire butterfly dress. His eyes sparkled, honored to escort such beauty. Miss Joyce. We settled for a sci-fi flick with attractive leads and occasional R-rated scenes. Midway through, I caught Luke's gaze, already fixed on me instead of the screen. I leaned in close and whispered, "Why are you staring at me instead of watching the movie?" Luke chuckled. "You're more interesting than the film, Joyce. Don't disrespect my crush's movie. Get lost." His laughter rumbled as he turned back to the screen, only to lean over again minutes later. What standards does someone need to meet to become your crush? At least match his physique, I answered absently. When the plot climax hit, I stopped paying attention to Luke entirely. After the credits rolled and lights came on, we remained seated in our corner seats. Luke shifted closer. I actually have a six-pack too, though my training regimen differs from his. Would that bother you? He'd actually taken the comparison seriously. How different are we talking? Want to see for yourself? This feels inappropriate. We're not that close yet. Amusement danced in his striking features. Would you mind if we became that close? His cologne wafted between us as he added. Can't you tell I'm pursuing you, Joyce? My pulse quickened whenever our eyes met, that visceral attraction people call chemistry. Feeling things were moving too fast, I blurted. You must have tons of dating experience. Huh? He paused before taking my hand, laughter lines crinkling. Think I'm a player? Before I could respond, he continued. Want to run a background check? I'll swear on my life any lie and I'll pick a different oath. I interrupted, cheeks burning. How about going bald? I eyed his thick hair. Hard pass on baldness. Luke stood, still holding my hand. Let's walk and talk. He claimed I was his first love, then offered his phone. Go through it if you want. I pushed it back. Not necessary. Relax. I won't ask to check yours, he said with knowing humor. His phone held only basic apps, messaging, games, music, and the campus portal. Can I see your photos? Browser history? I ventured. Gallery's fine. Let's save browser checks for later. He grinned, tugging me forward. Our relationship progressed faster than Mandy and Jason's slow-burning dynamic. When Mandy excitedly shared about holding hands with her situationship after their beach date, Luke was already guiding my palm over his abs in secluded corners. We made things official during a stormy night after club activities. Luke showed up dripping wet with an umbrella, freshly showered scent of body wash clinging to him as we walked through the downpour. The rain drowned out my pounding heartbeat when I suddenly wanted to kiss him. Meeting his gaze, I wondered if he saw the hunger in my eyes. His answering smile suggested he did. He said, I don't kiss anyone except my girlfriend, putting on that wholesome gentleman act. As if he wasn't the one who'd texted me shirtless gym selfies earlier. I hooked his pinky with mine. So, you want to date me? Absolutely. The next second, Luke dipped his head to capture my lips, lowering his umbrella to shield us from prying eyes. His mouth was impossibly soft. Raindrops pounded in rhythm with my racing heartbeat, while Luke and I were already official. Mandy and Jason were still stuck in their endless will they won't they phase. Even during finals week, they kept studying together at the library. We'd both tried playing matchmaker before, but turns out my girl's awkward flirting matched his buddy's cluelessness perfectly. That tension-filled bubble still hadn't popped. We'd planned to tell them about our relationship after finals, but life had other plans. On our way back from a post-exam dinner date, Luke pinned me against a dimly lit campus path. Kissing him was addictive, like melting into warm marshmallow fluff. No matter how much he flexed his biceps bragging about being intense. Between exams and papers, we'd barely had any alone time lately. His long fingers cradled my neck, thumb brushing slow circles as our mouths moved together. Until someone called out, Joyce? I froze at the familiar voice. Turning, I locked eyes with Mandy and Jason standing 3 feet away, close enough to hold hands, yet still maintaining that maddening inch of distance. Luke glanced up, lips smeared with my lipstick. Our secret was out. Later, Mandy cornered me. How long has this been happening? You barely knew each other. I deadpanned. Babe, not everyone needs a year-long slow burn. Honestly, if I didn't know these two hopeless romantics personally, I'd assume one was leading the other on. But watching Jason memorize Mandy's coffee order and Mandy light up whenever he quoted her favorite novels? They were made for each other's brand of nerdy tenderness. "Do you think he likes me?" Mandy whispered. "Would he skip gaming tournaments to proofread your lab reports? Fight me for your weekend time? Stay up till 3 a.m. because you wanted to rant about Shakespearean motifs?" Sometimes playing Cupid sucked, except I'd apparently aced the mission by bagging the rival team's mastermind myself. Over winter break, Luke mentioned Jason was planning a grand confession. Guess our little sidewalk show lit a fire under him. Which led to me discovering something peculiar, a photo of me from sophomore year track meet. Back when we wore those hideous neon department hoodies. The same photo some rando had posted on the campus crush wall. I stormed into Luke's dorm, plopping onto his lap with the evidence. Explained this timestamp. We hadn't even met then. He kissed my frown away shamelessly. So I saved some rando's crush post. Saw it. Wanted it. Got it. His grin turned wolfish. Their loss. My gain. What a straightforward guy. Finally. Everything clicked. I stared at him intensely. You really did scheme to get close to me. No wonder I felt he'd been subtly flirting since our first meeting. Pretending to care about bro code. Luke chuckled. His peach blossom eyes twinkling mischievously. Scheming's too harsh. This is fate. Why else would your best friend fall for my clueless buddy at this huge campus? His silver-tongued logic never stopped. Luke said unrequited love did feel like personal chaos. But he wasn't one to accept defeat without trying. Who says it can't become shared mornings and nights? Get lost. Who's sharing mornings with you? My boyfriend sighed dramatically. Last night you were calling me baby while feeling up my abs and pecs. Changed your mind already? Not interested in abs anymore? Want somewhere else? Isn't that moving too fast? I'm not that kind of guy. That winter break. Mandy and Jason became official. With their relationship settled, this matchmaker took temporary leave. The night before I went home, Luke clung like a puppy, demanding hickeys. During holidays, my inbox flooded with gym progress pics from certain college boy in L.A. Damn those stimulating visuals. I finally replied, frowny face babe. Gray sweatpants next time? Distance apparently made this boyfriend extra eager. Next day he sent gray-clad shots. Holy hell. He teased frowny face like the gray? Me frowny face gray looks huge. After deliberate seconds, I retracted frowny face gray looks good. Luke frowny face just keep tormenting me. His verdict? Innocent face. Filthy mind. Honestly, I expected this relationship to crash. My boyfriend seemed the type to climb garden walls. Reality? Total romance addict. All those thirst trap tricks aimed at me, expert level. Graduation season saw many couples fracturing. As I prepared to inherit dad's business, he sighed dramatically, thank God for my looks. Else how'd I land Joyce's favor? We did have family corporations. I cupped his face tenderly, don't worry. I'll take responsibility. Post-graduation, our long distance began though merely 2 hours by train. Then he announced plans to start his venture in my city. I knew about his startup, but expected his hometown base. Luke pointed at a downtown skyscraper. Baby, my office is there. Let's tour it. I winced. Rent here's brutal. Visions of bankrupt CEO boyfriends danced in my head. Luke, no worries. Building's my grandma's. She gifted it. He clarified, my Lou comes from Veronica Lou, the business magnate. Changed from dad's surname as a kid. Grandma wanted heirs carrying her name. Absolute wealth commands naming rights. Even his sister carried the Lou surname. Astonished, I cautioned, babe, must you really do this startup? Everyone knows rich kids' entrepreneurial disasters. Dad banned me from startups. Luke gazed earnestly, if this fails, I'll have to become your personal pool boy. Let me sharpen my skills. These 2 years don't replace me. His words sounded official, but the underlying meaning was downright dirty. I stayed silent, considering the feasibility before going to ask my dad. Dad, would our family accept a live-in son-in-law? My open-minded father didn't even look up from his newspaper. How many? 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional? Seemed like Dad's approval was secured. When I approached Mom, who'd been binge-watching eerie anime lately, she asked, male son-in-law or female daughter-in-law? A bit too progressive. Dear Mother. Finally reassured. I told Luke, go ahead with your startup. My family welcomes you. Epilogue, Luke's POV, the track meet photo Joyce found in my phone? What I didn't tell her was I'd been there watching. She'd been stretching on the field, radiant with youth as classmates cheered. That porcelain complexion made someone nearby sigh about seeing their first love. I watched her win the race, then saw her photo trending on campus forums. The more I noticed her around campus, the more I'd unconsciously seek her silhouette in crowds. Maybe it was shallow attraction, but there it was. One afternoon leaving school, I trailed behind Joyce and her friend Mandy. Overheard her advice, trust me. Jason's totally into you. Make him sweat by replying tonight. That evening, I knocked on Jason's dorm door. Need a wingman, bro? Even relationship coaches need job opportunities. The end.